This is Amud Yomi Gemara and Berachos Daf Lamed Tes Amud Aleph. We pick it up from Lamed Ches Amud Beis, the last line, in which the Gemara says, Amrli Rav Yirmiyah Rav Zira, Rav Yochanan, Hechi Mivarech Al Zayis Maliach. How is he able to make a bracha on a salted olive? What's the question? Given the Shakaler Garine, once you take out the pit, but Shiura is less than the requisite amount to make a bracha. As the Tabrashi points out, the Berachos 39a says achila, and achila is only in a kezayis, and if you took out the pit, it's no longer a kezayis. Amar Leir of Zera answers, me suffers kezayis gadol, but do you think you need a kezayis gadol? No, kezayis beinoni binan, it suffices with a medium size olive. And therefore, the olive they brought in front of Rav Yochanan was what? Was Zayis Gadol Haya. Was a large Zayis. And therefore, the Aval Gad, the Shaklul Garnute, even though they removed the pit, still there was the shear remaining. The Tanai we learned in the Mishnah, Zayis Shamarna, the Zayis that we spoke about was like cotton, like gadol, ella beinoni. This is aguri olive. So Rav Yochanan, even though he took out the pit because it started off large, was left with a medium size. Amar Avol like aguri shemai. It's not really an aguri olive. Ella avruti shemai. Varmila sarmusi shemai. V'lamanik shemai aguri. So how we call it an aguri olive? Sheshemeinai agar b'teichai. Because the oil is gathered inside of it. Continues the Gemara, 10 lines down. The first one line is Agar B'Teichai, picking up the discussion that we had in the previous daf, which was, what is the bracha on cooked vegetables? We had a machlokes back and forth, whether it's Adama or whether it is a shahakol. Says the Gemara now, Nima Kitanai. Let's say that indeed it's a machlokes Tanoim as to what the bracha is. There are two Talmidim that stand in front of Bar Kapara. Have you lefan of krov v'dermaskin u'pargiot? And what do they bring? They brought 3 items: cabbage and dermaskin and pargiot are some sort of meats and chickens. So Nasa Bar Kapara told one of them to make a bracha. Kavat u'barach al pargiot. He got up and he made a bracha on the chicken pargiot. The other one that was there started laughing. Why would you make a shahako first? You should have made a bracha on the cabbage. Because Bar Kapara was upset. Amar, he said, I'm not upset with the one that made the shahako and pargiot first. I'm upset for the one that is laughing. Because it sounds like you never had meat in your life. Why are you mocking? Why are you mocking him? Seemingly he's saying that meat to him was the most chashiv, and that's why he made a bracha. Why are you laughing at him? Chazav Amar. So then Bar Kapara said, no, let me retract. It's not in the one that was laughing, but rather the one that made the bracha. Amar, and he explained. If he's not smart, there's no wisdom. Meaning, even if there's no chachma, you should have at least asked what the bracha was. Tanu shneim lo yitzir shnasam. Of course, Bar Kapara gave them musar. Neither of these talmidim lived out the year. So explains the Gemara, perhaps, that this give and take with Bar Kapara is the 2 shitas that we're looking for. My lab, hakamifli, suggests the Gemara. To Mevarech, the one that made the bracha on the pargiot first. What did he think? Savar shlak the pargiot shakol ne'av. He clearly thought cooked vegetables is a shak. Hilkach, therefore, what do you do when all of it is the same bracha and this is a klal? Adalach lemaisa, when everything is the same bracha, what happens? What comes first? Hilkach chaviv adif, that which is more beloved to you comes first, so he wanted the pargiot. Umelagleg, the one that was laughing, Savar, Shlaka is Bar Biyadama. He thought the Shlaka was Bar Biyadama. Pargiot, Chakol Ni'av. And therefore, what was he mocking him about? Hilkach, of course, Peri Adif, the Adam should come first. So says the Gemara, perhaps we can say that this was the machlekes going on in this story, and then we'll have Tanaim arguing about our Shaila, whether Shlaka is cooked vegetables is Shahakol or Hadama. Says the Gemara, lie, that's not what's going on. Everyone holds it's a Shahakol. They're arguing about the following svara. Mar Savar Chaviv Adif. One man Amar holds that even though so chaviv adif, it's a shahakol, so chaviv adif. Umar sarvar, no, krav adif. Why the zayin? Meaning, everyone in this braysa is going with the opinion that shlakos is a shahakol. They argue about whether chaviv comes first or zayin, that which satiates should come first. Amar Rav Zeir continues the Gemara, Kavina Beir Rav Kahana. We're about 20 lines from the white lines. The first one in line is Dezayin. Amar Rav Zeir Kevin Beir Rav Huna. When I was in the yeshiva Rav Huna, Amar Lani said to us, "Anigar Gilidi delifta, turnip heads, parapinu prima rabba. If you cut them into big pieces, paribriadama prima zuta, small pieces. I only have a dvarai." That's what Rav Zeir said. He heard in the yeshiva Rav Huna that it's telling the size of the turnip whether it's adam or shahakol. But Chayasan lebei Rav Yehuda Amar Loi. Aidi v'aidi bari priyadama. V'aidi barinu tvei. And it has to be that you cut them, even that which you cut very small is still adama. Why? Kecha denamting time makes Rav Yehuda's of the opinion that the more you cut a turnip, doesn't destroy it, but rather brings out the sweetness, and therefore will always be a hadama. Amar Ravashi continues the Gemara. Kavina Beir Rav Kahana was in the yeshiva Rav Kahana Amar Lan. Tavshila de silka, cooked beets. There's not a lot of flour. Then it's just a beet. By Riyadam. The lift, but turnips. Which they put a lot of flour in that dish. Then by name is Zayin. It's Vahada Amar. Then Rav Kahana was Chayzer, and he said the famous line. But why? There's flour in it. You know what all that flour is for? You know what the licorice flour for? It's purely for stickiness, for debug to stick it together, and therefore to not get the regular mezainis of flour and retains its shahakol. Amar Rav Chisda, 12 lines from the white lines. First one line is Amar. Says Rav Chisda, Tavshel shal dradin yafal lelev. Cooked beets is good for the heart, the tayv le'nayim, and good for the eyes, and certainly for the intestines. Amar Abai Avudi Yasa Abei Tufi. It has to be sitting on the stove of a toch and has to cook up until it makes the toch sound. Amar Rav Baba, says Rav Baba. Pshitali, the following is Pashat. Maya desilka, the soup of cooked beets is like the beets themselves, and you make hadama even on the water of the beets. My delifta of the turnips is kalifta. My dekule shalki of all the cooked vegetables is kikule shalki. Bayra baba my the shifta my. What is the soup, the liquid of cooked dill? What's the shaila? Lematuki taima avdi. Is it made to sweeten it, or laburizuma avdila, or is it made to remove the bad odor? Why are you adding the dill into the dish? Answers the Gemara Tashema, 3 lines on the white lines. Sheves dill. We should also tambik there. Once it's put the flavor into the dish, and Mamisham Chuma no longer has the din of Chuma, because once all the flavor comes out of it, now it's like a piece of wood. Veda mitamatum and there's no tama. Shmami no limituki time after says Gemara, we see clearly that it's there to sweeten the dish. Shmamina, as the Raisa said clearly, that once it puts in the taste, then it no longer has any dinim of chuma. Amar Rav Chia Barashi, and with this we conclude. Pas sinuma on the first wide line. Dry bread, b'kayrin a bowl, v'archin alei, ha'moitzi lechem min haaretz. Bread is sitting in a bowl to soak, and it's dry, cut into small pieces. Says the Gemara, you still make hamaitzi. You plead Rav Chia, but this argues on Rav Chia. Damar Rav Chia, Sar Shticha Bracha Mapas. Rav Chia said the bracha should go together with the breaking of the bread. That what? You should make the bracha while cutting it, but you should not make it earlier. So Rav Chia would say hamaitzi is only on the larger bread, not on the bread crumbled up. So Maskav Larava, 1 second, what is the reason of the dry bread that it's better, that according to Rav Chia, that one you should not make tamoitz in the dry bread, because then you're making bracha on little pieces, and we want you to make a bracha on the whole shalim or the whole loaf. Alabas nami, what do you mean even according to Rav Chia when you make a bracha on the whole loaf? When the end of the bracha is on the broken piece. So what's the difference that you're making it over something larger or the small pieces? We turn over to Lamitas and Beis. It concludes the Gemara Ela Marava. It's true. First make the bracha and only after cut it. Why? So you get the mile of the bracha on the shalim and then you cut it. Amrli, my mother told me, Avuch Avid Rav Chia, your father did like Rav Chia, Dam Rav Chia. Sar Shatichla Bracha Mapas. The bracha should go together with the breaking of the bed. Rabbanan Avdi Kirav. It looks like Rav Dam Varich which of course is what we do. This is of course part of the reason why we make the Rishima, we make the line on the bread in order to get the two as close as possible to each other.